Welcome back to the best show on the internet that reviews new music and old music, but today it's new music. We are called Music Is It Good Though? My name is Krrrk, and I'm here with my co-host. We're here to just talk about music and decide if it's good or not and whether you should be listening to it or not. Before we get into this week's album, what have you been listening to?
Not a lot, to be honest.
No.
But what I have managed to listen to is the new Ghost EP, which is a covers EP.
Is it all covers?
Yeah.
I didn't realise they were all covers. I recognised a couple of songs on it.
Yeah, and then on the way back from Wales yesterday, we ended up listening to the Carpenters.
Oh, right, okay.
That was nice, easy listening. Apparently that's Jasmine's mum's favourite band.
Right.
So.
I quite like the Carpenters.
Yeah.
For me, again, saying the same as every week in that I'm listening to a new album every day. And highlights over the past week, I'll just go into one, which was Night at the Opera by Queen. Track to track, everything is like... There's a lot of albums where you listen to it and think this is really good. There's very few albums where I listen to it and think I would love to have been a fly on the wall in the writing process because how did he get to this?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just pretty much fantastic front to back. Bit of a weird one with I'm in Love with My Car where it's just someone really juicing over his car, the drummer Roger Taylor.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, absolute banger. I know I'm late to the party with saying this, but you should listen to that album. Bringing us to today's album, which is the new album by Kesha called...
Gag Order. So,
any preconceptions of Kesha?
I'd only heard 3 songs with her on it. I don't even know if they were her songs.
Okay.
She did that one with 303.
Yeah.
That I don't know the name of.
My First Kiss.
That was it. Timber.
That was Kesha.
Yeah, just on her own. And then she did one with Pitbull.
Yeah.
Which automatically just put me off her.
Was that... You to spin my head right round.
No, that was Flo. Oh, she was on that.
Flowrider as well.
Flowrider, yeah.
What was... I can't remember. Maybe, was it Timber with Pitbull then?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I didn't like it. Cause it was
you know more than that. You know, wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. Got my glasses.
I hate it. I didn't know that was her. Well, I probably did know that.
Don't stop, make it pop.
Yeah, didn't like that at all.
Yeah.
How about you?
I quite like Kesha. I listened a lot to that first album that had TikTok and, you know, your love is my drug. That was another big one. Big-ish.
I don't think so.
But yeah, I liked that one. I liked pretty much all that first album. Yeah, I had the album... I hadn't listened to the album before this one, but the one before that, which I can't even remember the name of now, but it's the one with... Praying, which got quite big, and Rainbow. I liked a lot of that. That was the one where I showed you last week where it had Eagles of Death Metal in the songs as well. Yeah. So I listened to that album really quite a lot. Yeah, I quite like Kesha. I like the kind of evolution that I've seen. Like, I guess you kind of just hearing the odd singles, you probably wouldn't have noticed it, but starting off very sort of party pop, like Let's Sing About Drinking and stuff, and then the last album that I heard, which was the one with the Eagles of Death Metal and all that, which was more kind of still having fun and enjoying yourself, but less let's all get crunk.
Yeah.
And then today's album, which we will be discussing in a short while, which is very different to everything so far. So yeah, I would say I'm a fan of Kesha and I like to keep up with what she's doing. And yeah.
It's a bit of a weird background to this album as well.
Yeah, it's to do with if you're aware of the situation, which is the stuff with Dr. Luke, then the title Gag Order is very on the nose, isn't it? I thought that had all kind of resolved, but it's not, because he's countersuing, which is coming back in July, and obviously she's not allowed to talk about a lot of stuff, hence Gag Order.
What was funny about that, like the countersuit is for defamation. I'm pretty sure one judge has already gone, but no one knows who you are. So I thought, yeah, brilliant.
This album, Gag Order, which is clearly about him, has been released on his record label, Kimo Sabe. Like, why would you want that? Like, but yeah, that's just my thoughts.
It's produced by Rick Rubin as well.
Yeah, produced by Rick Rubin, but still released on Kimo Sabe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess bringing us to this album and the sound of this album on its own, what did you make of it?
Yeah, I loved it.
Did you?
Yeah.
I was so curious what you were going to think of this one, because I thought you wouldn't like her older stuff, but because this is so much different, I was curious where you'd be going with this. And it is a bit zany, it's a bit psychedelic, and you don't tend to like psychedelic stuff, I don't think.
No, but this one, like, I found the first few tracks, especially Something to Believe in and Eat Acid,
Eat the Acid.
Eat the Acid. I found them quite meditative. Like it's just like repeating mantras pretty much over and over again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that those two like have been stuck in my head in a good way.
Yeah.
And even the one where I thought, oh, here we go, it's just going to revert back to type.
Let me guess. Is it Only Love Can Save Us Now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the sound of that, like when the bass immediately, Jesus Christ, what is this? But that is a brilliant song.
It is, and it feels like it shouldn't work. And maybe the first time I did listen to that song, I was like, this is just two songs that have been mushed together to make one. But then it just does.
Yeah.
Like, two very conflicting sounds in kind of gospel and party pop.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, it just works, and it just works so well.
Yeah.
What I really appreciated about this album, we've said many times before, there's nothing wrong with making an album for the money.
No.
But with this, she's clearly not got into it trying to get a single.
No, I thought that way. Where's the singles in this?
She's gone into it looking at it as a piece of art, wanting to produce something that's getting out how she feels rather than what's going to get loads of radio play.
Yeah.
And I think the sales of this have been a lot lower than other ones, which I get. But still, I think the overall, from what I've seen at least, the overall reviews of it have been higher than the other ones.
Yeah.
Which is usually the way, isn't it?
Yeah. And Mum writes a few songs with her, I've noticed as well.
Right.
She's got a really odd name that I'd never come across before. Peeb.
Peeb.
Peeb Sieb.
Right. I don't know how to pronounce Kesha's last name. I always assumed it was Saber.
Oh,
but do you think Siebert?
I'm just putting Siebert down.
Siebert.
Yeah.
Top tracks for you?
The first two. And then, well, to be fair, the first two, Only Love Can Save Us. Us now? Me now? Us now. And then Happy, the last one. There was, which one was it now? I don't like Peace and Quiet.
Okay.
I can't remember why, but I just don't like it. I was listening to it in the car on the way to Wales yesterday and I thought, turn it off. But what I found really weird was, like, there's some bits that are really jarring on the album. Like that bit where it's like, I want to come back as a house cat.
Yeah.
It's like, what is going on here?
It's full psychedelic at that bit, and I love that.
Yeah.
Like, the first time I listened to this album, like, I think I was expecting, is it going to be more like when she had Eagles of Death Metal in? Is it going to be more fun, like, don't want to say pop punk, but more poppy with a rocky
Pop rock,
elements?
yeah.
Pop rock, yeah. Is it going to be like that? And the first time I listened to it, maybe like the first 3 or 4 songs, I was like, this is... But I think that's because I went into it with my own expectations. And then by the end of the album, I was like, I think I've been wrong about this. And then each listen afterwards, now that I know what to expect, I've been really enjoying it.
Yeah, I struggled like the first few listens, like you. Like, I didn't... It wasn't what I expected at all, and I struggled to appreciate what really was going on. I just thought it seemed like a lack of effort, but it wasn't.
This is one where, when I have looked into it, when we were saying about Gorillaz and how that's considered art pop, this album, like, not Kesha's music as a whole, but this album has been put as art pop, which I can completely get. Have you seen... Eureka! Have you seen The Sky? She did release not a music video, a visualizer, she's called it, for the first 2 tracks together.
No.
It's so uncomfortable, but it works so well. It's basically just her lay there, I guess, like, singing the song, just the camera on her face, but with like 10 hands all around, kind of grasping, sticking the fingers in her mouth and stuff.
I remember doing that.
Yeah, you're one of them, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just very uncomfortable watching it, but that's kind of the vibe of the album, isn't it? Because she's being shut down.
Yeah.
Like, so it works really well for what it is, but it does make you feel really uncomfortable watching it. And for me, top 3 tracks. So I loved Eat the Acid.
Yeah.
There was the drama, which is the one where it's at the end. In the next life, I wanna come back as a house cat, as a house cat. And I keep singing that at home, just that little, those
Ditty.
couple lines, yeah, that little ditty. Only love can save us now. I guess kind of echoing what you said before, and it just works really well. So echoing what you said, we both said it, didn't we? But it's another one of those songs where at the first time listening to it, I thought, what's going on here? It seems too weird, but it grew on me so much. So yeah, that's my 3. Eat the Acid, Only Love Can Save Us Now, and the drama.
Yeah. I didn't really like Hate Me Harder.
Did you
But
not?
again, that was more of a club vibe to me.
Really?
Yeah, if I'm thinking of it right, yeah, I didn't really like it.
It's more of a ballad song. No songs that I hated on there. Hate Me Harder, I was debating whether that was going to be in my top 3 when I was looking through there, so you're wrong about that. Putting a number on it.
Yeah, I've just got it from expected. I'll go with 8.5.
Nice. I was going to go with an 8, and I will go with an 8, and you can't stop me. So that'll bring us to 8.25, which is... I'm quite chuffed with that, because I went into this as someone who likes Kesha anyway, expecting you to chuck it right down. And
I expected that as well.
yeah, but yeah, 8.25 out of 10 for the new Kesha album. Really give it a go. If you like the older stuff, it might be a bit jarring at first, but it is really good.
Yeah, it's a rewarding listen.
It is. Give it a good chance, because it's great. Which yeah, obviously means that this week we've decided that music is good. So you're allowed to listen to music this week.
Not just this album. Any
Just
album.
Any album, because we've decided this week that music is good. Tune in next week when we'll be listening to this album at the top of the screen, and we'll be deciding if that one's any good or not. So, yeah. Oh, before we go, how many subscribers did we have last time?
57.
We're on 58 now. There we go. Thank you to the new person, and I'll see you soon. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.